So ayun, what's up mga kababayan, and welcome back for another video. At ngayong araw na to mga kababayan, mainit ang tatalakayin natin at papanoorin natin ito mga kababayan at magbibigay tayo ng reaction. No, hinggil pa rin dito sa damuhong si Bongo na hindi alam ang batas, no mga kababayan. Oo. No, porke nakalusot nung panahon ni Duterte, akala niya makakalusot na siya ngayon. So ito, meron pa ni bagong pasabog si Senator Trillanes regarding nga dito sa pamilya ni Bongo, 'di ba? So kayo mga kababayan, comment down below after nitong video papanoorin natin. Comment down below kung ano ang sa tingin nyo. Tama ba itong ginagawa ni Senator Trillanes regarding sa mga anomalya nung panahon ni Digong, 'di ba? Nung panahon na kasagsagan ng mga ghost project. Okay. So ito yung video mga kababayan, Let's all watch this. Medyo lakayan ko lang para naman. Lakayan natin konti. Yan. Yan, okay na yan. So ito, play na natin mga kababayan ito po pala yung interview niya ito sa Rappler. Okay, so ito, let's all watch this.
Senator Trillanes, and thank you yet again for joining us in the public square.
Well, thanks, John, for inviting me.
Sen, one thing new in the case that you filed the other day is the link to the Discayas. Can you talk to us about your decision-making? When did you decide, okay, if-file ko ulit itong kaso, kasagsagan ng flood control corruption issue?
Well, let us trace everything back to the Rappler article, actually, back in 2018. Rappler yung naglabas ng issue na yon. So when I saw that, when I read that article, I requested the various agencies for official documents. This was towards the end of my term na, early 2019. So when I got those documents, we reviewed them, we checked everything. Then, by 2021, nilabas ko na ito through a press con. But I told them na hindi ko pa to ifa-file because alam kong poproteksyonan siya nung mga institutions. So, hindi ko final. Nung 2024, last year, final ko sa DOJ. So, dito mo makikita yung tentacles nila Bongo and Duterte, yung mga tinanim nila sa iba't ibang ahensya para proteksyonan sila. So, in this case, yung Prosecutor General before, na si Malcontento, final ko nga sa DOJ para ma-case build up doon kasi alam mo i-dismiss dun sa ombudsman. Siya, against the instructions of the Secretary of Justice then, Secretary Remulla, pinasa niya kaagad, pinuslit niya, kumbaga. And he was fired for it. Pero by then, nailusot na yung final ko sa ombudsman. Then here comes Martires. Ang daming violations doon, not only plunder, yung conflict of interest lang. Kasi 200 contracts So every count, violation ng Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. He didn't even touch it. Hindi nag-fact-finding, nothing. He just archived it and eventually said dismiss it without prejudice. So ngayon, napalitan na si Martires. Eksakto na dagdagan ng mga 300 plus million pesos worth na flood control projects awarded doon sa brother ni Bongo. Eh di ngayon, naging 7 billion na. Pero at least nawala na yung protection niya sa ombudsman. At dito, very brazen yung nangyari. In award, alam naman natin si Duterte and Bongo are basically one and the same entity, political entity. Inapprove nila yung mga kontrata nung tatay at kapatid ni Bongo. And no politician does that Kasi alam nilang bawal yon on its face. Kailangan nilang gumawa pa ng mga dummy para to cover their pero ito is either yung kanilang sense of impunity or na-overlook nila na nung ginagawa nila Duterte yan sa Davao, unknown entity pa si Bongo. So, on its face, parang wala naman siyang connection sa tatay at kapatid ni Bongo. Pero nung naging presidente na, siya yung naging special assistant to the president. And he was introduced as the closest, parang higit pa sa anak, sabi nila sa isa't isa. Eh ngayon, they continued the practice. They still awarded around 5 billion. Until this issue was raised, saka sila nag-low profile. Yun ang nangyari dito.
So yung sa Davao pa lang mismo, when Bongo was executive assistant, meron ng mga projects na natatanggap yung company ng father niya, which has the same initials as his own name, no? CLTG, no? CLTG. And then yung company ng half-brother niya, si Alfred. Tapos, nung special assistant siya to the president, may nadagdag pa na addition. Katulad nga na sinabi mo, parang continuation lang. No? Yung information, ito ba galing dun sa mga lumabas sa Senate Blue Ribbon, sa ICI, o may lumapit sa inyo, or meron kayong na-discover mismo?
These are official documents na sabi ko nga, nakuha ko when I was still in the Senate.
Okay.
Nung nilabas ko to noong 2021, kaso talagang dominated nila yung social media sphere, even the mainstream media, talagang intimidated. Hindi nabibigyan ng atensyon. Ngayon, na ito ngayon yung focus, parang nagugulat sila lahat. I've been shouting at the top of my lungs about this issue before at nakita ko how they set everything up. Ngayon, mas magandang, mas receptive yung tao. Kaya nga, when I filed it last Tuesday, parang it's the first time na laman ng tao kasi doon lang na-penetrate yung social media sphere. Kaya doon lang nakaabot sa kanila.
Ilan lang talaga may alam nun nung ginawa ninyo. When you first had that press conference and then years later when you filed it, I think in July of last year. Pero ngayon lang talaga nakikita. Party siguro dahil galit talaga yung mamamayan, ano? Parang
yes. So nakamulat sila ngayon. Tapos it was kumaga allowed kasi itong dinisenyo ng mga Duterte na itong flood control issue is an anti-administration issue. Not knowing na babalik ito sa kanila. Di ba? At yun kaya makita mo si Bongo, sinasabi niya, rehashed itong issue na to. Rehashed. Pero he never addressed it. Kita mo even yung press con niya. And makita mo from start to finish, binabasa niya. This guy cannot even articulate his thoughts or his own defense. Kailangan niyang basahin yan. At even yung binasa niya, not a single word was dedicated to addressing the main issue. Bakit mo binigay dun sa tatay at kapatid mo na bawal yung sa batas? This is not a delicadeza issue. Yung delicadeza issue kasi is, I have the prerogative to do this or not. If I don't do it, yun ang delicadeza. Pero if I do it, okay pa rin kasi hindi illegal. Hindi, illegal Whether, kumaga, delicadeza or not, nangyari yan. Kahit strange kayo nung tatay mo, bawal yun.
Ano nga yung sagot nga niya, parang what's known as a non-denial denial, ano? Parang, hindi, wala akong alam dyan, tanungin niyo yung tatay ko, yung kapatid ko. But as you pointed out before our interview, yun nga, the very conflict of interest is there, no?
Yeah, is a violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. The use of your private or public office for private gain.
Yeah. The very definition of corruption.
Yes. So, ito ngayon, hanggang 4th degree of consanguinity nga, bawal according to the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act. Ano pa? Yung pa 1st degree. Di ba? O ngayon, pero yung sa plunder law, pumasok siya. Kasi ang elements ng plunder law, una, public officer, which he is. Pangalawa, accumulation of ill-gotten wealth. Pangatlo, yung accumulation of ill-gotten wealth should be committed through a series of illegal acts. Yun na nga yung conflict of interest. From bidding na dapat hindi na disqualified na until na award, binayaran. So 200 counts yun. Then the accumulated ill-gotten wealth should exceed 50 million. So pasok na pasok lahat. In addition dun, meron ka pang separate counts of violation ng graft. Tapos yung Republic Act 6713, yung Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards. Ang dami nun. Kaya, we're hoping na ito na, this is it. Kasi talagang pag tinaste mo, ngayon lang na-discover, pero hindi lang naman to sumulpot na parang kabuti ngayon. Pag titignan mo, there's a history. Diskaya, yung central figure sa mga contractor side, nag-flourish yan nung panahon ni Duterte, and guess who is behind him? Bongo. Si Bernardo, the undersecretary in the DPWH, who is the central figure sa DPWH side, was appointed by no less than Bongo. Sila talaga yung nag-set up nito. Kaya nga, yung sinasabi nilang dinadivert ko, no, I am redirecting this investigation to where it's supposed to be, which is the mastermind, Bongo.
Are you reasonably optimistic na under a new ombudsman, a new justice secretary, may mangyari?
Yes. And nakikita naman natin yung early statements ni Ombudsman Rimulya, very encouraging. Na talagang wala nang protection. No sacred cows anymore. Of course, doon sa ombudsman, naaareglo yan. Pagka, when nobody's looking anymore, when the spotlights have turned to another issue, doon nila tinitira yan. Kaya lumalabnaw, by the time sa ma-file sa Sandigan, flawed na yung na-file na kaso. Tapos doon na naman, aregluhin na naman yun through time, maayos yun. But maganda ng science yung magsimula at imbestigahan, then eventually ma-file. Non-bailable cases to. Yeah.
I remember that you also filed another plunder case last year, I think August last year, against Bongo, Duterte, and a few others, involving the Korean frigates.
Yes.
Again, this was not the first time you raised this issue. No? Nung special assistant pa lang si Bongo, napatawag sa Senado, pero iba yung nangyari. No? But then, years later, nag-file ka. Ano pong status ng plunder case na yan?
Nasa DOJ siya for case build-up. Ngayon na bagong ombudsman ipapalipat ko na yon sa ombudsman. Kompleto yung paperwork nito. And meron akong mga senior officers ng Navy na nag-express ng willingness to testify dito. Kasi talagang, brazen din yung pagkabanat dito. And don't get me wrong, yung frigate na nakuha natin, is still the most modern ships na nakuha natin by Philippine standards. But what we're saying, ang pinakang problema dito is, it could have been better. At we paid for the, kumbaga, primera klaseng combat management system, pero doon change. Ang pinalit, yung hindi tested, na mas mura. Pero nandoon na yun sa specification, binayaran natin for that. So doon, ang laking nakuha dito. Easily, mga 4 to 5 billion pesos. Dahil, kumbaga parang, ang in-order mo, BMW, example, pero ang diniliver, BMW yung kaha, pero yung makina, yung pang owner na jeep. Yung parang
kasi Hyundai din. Itong frigate, Hyundai.
Yes. So, ganon. Yung, it still looks good, pero, merong mga sa loob kulang. Pati nga yung length shorter yung diniliver than what we paid for. So, yun ang mga issues dito. At yung mga personalities involved, yung Lloyd Christopher Lao, ito yung chief of staff niya. Chief of staff niya to when he was the special assistant to the president. Yun din yung nag-facilitate under his command. At si Duterte mismo yung nag-utos. Pinasa sa kanila. And nung meron yung flag officer in command na ino-oppose, pinoprotesta na, teka muna, iba yung binayaran natin. That admiral was relieved in place of somebody who's willing to sign those documents. Open and shut case ito kasi kompleto yung mga dokumento rito.
I seem to remember, Sen, na parang I think Defense Secretary Delphine Lorenzana said at the time na may marginal note yata si Bongo. Parang ito yung
No, may marginal note si Secretary Lorenzana saying na ito yung instructions
ni Bongo. Okay.
Na sinasabihan niya yung si Admiral Mercado at the time. So, ano yun? It went on, back and forth, gano'n. They were holding their ground na dapat i-deliver nyo yung binayaran, yung in-order natin at yung binayaran. Kaso talagang pinwersa sila. Yun. Anong nangyari? He paid the price, tinanggal siya sa pwesto. Ngayon, anong nangyari? That same combat management system, hindi ngayon natin magamit yun sa mga joint exercises with the allies. Kaya ngayon, umu-order tayo ng bago, yung the same combat management system na in-order natin.
Dapat. Yeah. Ganun ba?
Ngayon, doble
so,
ang
doble yung,
magiging gastos natin. Yun na nga, dahil pinapasukan nila yan. And si Bongo yung facilitator na lahat na yun.
Isa pang hindi ko makalimutan, Sen, was during that time, 2018, 2019, pinatawag ng Senado si Special Assistant to the President Bongo. Pero ang lumabas, ikaw lang yung nagtatanong ng adverse questions, no? Yung ibang senator, they were praising him. Tapos nandun halos lahat ng cabinet members. Parang show of force of the Duterte administration.
So that's exactly what that was about. It was a show of force. Parang sinasabi ni Duterte, Bongo is my guy. Wag kayong lilihis diyan. And the senators played their part. They ate up the time. Kasi pag dyan yun, per round yun eh. One round, lahat ng mga nag-register magtanong. Yung mga hindi naman umaattend ng committee hearings normally, they were there just to consume the time na pwede ko pa sanang magamit. So, in that hearing, I only got 10 minutes, 2 rounds, 5 minutes each. Maghapon na yun, tapos na yun.
It ran several hours.
Yeah.
Tapos in the end, meron pa silang picture taking.
Yes. Para nagmano sila doon.
Sa tingin nyo ba, nagbago na yung ihip ng hangin? There would be, not that the senators have a role to play, maybe, dito sa plunder case, yung sa frigate. Pero sa tingin mo, kaya nagbago na yung ihip ng hangin? More of them are now saying, actually, mali yun.
Well, yes, pero hindi pa totally.
Okay.
Ang isang factor kasi doon, kaya hindi pa total yung transformation, is because of the 2028 elections. And some of these senators perceive na si Sara yung mananalo sa 2028. Kaya nagmamano sila every now and then. Alam mo yun yung they suck up to her. Ang audience nila si Sara eh. Because what if nga naman kung manalo yun? A vindictive lady na hindi talaga sila patatawarin. Kaya nga yung resolution nila calling for a house arrest, alam nilang walang value yon, pero ang audience nila doon.
It was for Sara.
Yeah.
I have a question about Vice President Sara later, but are you considering other charges against Bongo?
Aside dito sa frigate, marami pa eh. Pero nandoon na. At least yung Farmally, kasi central figure din siya dyan.
That's right. Oh.
Okay. Meron pa akong gustong inaantay na ilabas nila dito. Yung the biggest scam of them all, itong pagbili ng Sinovac.
Okay.
Yung vaccine.
Okay.
Kasi nung unang iniimbestigahan yan, when they attempted to investigate that, lumabas yung presyo, comparative price. Indonesia bought it for parang 1,700 pesos.
Okay.
Pero we bought it for 3,700 pesos. Pinatungan nila ng 2,000 per vial. We bought 50 million vials. That's 100 billion pesos na windfall. Ngayon, nung in-investigate, sinasabi nila, hindi, merong non-disclosure agreement. There's no such thing pagka-COA pag nire-review mo yung dokumento. So ngayon, hindi pa yon. Talagang they did everything to shut that investigation down. And it's the same players. Duterte, Michael Yang, Bongo, Lloyd Christopher Lau, and the others. So ngayon, doon din yung mga sa Farmally na involved. So hindi pa yon. That's the biggest scam of them all. 100 billion pesos for just one transaction. Yung Farmally, mga 10 billion yung nakita nila eh. Ito 100 billion.
What about possible charges against Congressman Pulong Duterte? Related, for instance, to yung laking pork barrel niya at 1 year yata, parang 50 billion.
Yeah,
for
51
Davao.
billion. Dito natin matetest yung backbone nitong ICI. I've been calling for the ICI to look where this thing started. Di ba? Sabi ni President Marcos, 2016 yung simulan. Kumaga gano'n. Dapat doon nila simulan. Tingnan nila yung pattern. Ano yung allocation per district. Tapos, mag-check na doon. Kasi 51 billion na flood control projects, talagang yung hindi pwede yun. Mathematically impossible na mangyari. So, ito na yun low-hanging fruit ito So, I'm waiting for the ICI to deliver on this. Kasi nakikita ko yung hesitation, may takot pa rin
Yung 2028 factor din siguro. Iniisip din nila.
Parang, bakit? It's either takot or influence. I hope, takot lang yun more than influence. Or, talagang minimisdirect sila. Pinipilit nung Duterte group nila, Bongo, imbestigahan nyo ngayon. Kasi ito yung parang mas sensational. Pero sa akin, hindi. Kung gusto mo, the way you investigate, tignan mo, saan ba yung ugat nito? Ito yan. Sino nag-appoint kay Bernardo? Sabi niyo si Bernardo yung utak nito lahat. Sino nag-appoint dyan? Di ba si Bongo? O, tignan mo ngayon. Ano yung ginawa nila? Patawag niyo yung regional district engineer ng Region 11. Tignan niyo. Ganito rin. It's the same modus, only so much worse. Kasi dominated nila yan. Just one district, 51 billion.
Yeah. What about Vice President Sara, Sen? Is there a possibility that you will file charges against her also?
May plano mag-file na I think civil society and church leaders magpa-file tungkol sa confidential funds niya. Okay. So, kumaga, ako naman, I just feel in a vacuum. If somebody's doing it, then I don't need to enter the picture. So, yung sa Farmalin, doon na yun. Itong ICI, iniimbestigahan muna yung tinitignan ko yun. I've been calling out the ICI, imbestigahan yung kay Pulong. Then, ipatawag nyo itong si Bongo, yung tatay niya at kapatid niya. Let them explain. Di ba? Hindi lang ito press con sa Senado. Patawag nyo. To be fair, kasi pinatawag nila lahat mga senador, congressman, di patawag nyo ito mga to. Tignan natin kung kaya nila. Kaya nung dibdib nilang patawag mga ito. Pati si Pulong. Patawag nyo na yan. Para makuha na yan. Kasi mas may mandato sila to subpoena documents and these people. Tignan natin how they will react. Diba? So, pero yung going back to yung kay Vice President Sara, may magpa-file na sa kanya na mga kaso. Soon.
Sen, may narinig akong usap-usapan na parang sa laki ng scale ng flood control corruption, billions of pesos. Parang in contrast, yung confidential funds abuse alleged na ginawa ni Vice President, 120 million or 150 million. Parang ang liit. Sa tingin mo ba, will public opinion be affected by that? Will the public perceive it as, well, hindi naman ganun ka-importante, dito tayo sa mas malaki, parang ganun?
Hindi siya, well, siyempre if-frame nila yun that way. Pero pag nakita nila ito, yung brazenness, how it was done, at saka 650 million pesos, hindi naman chump change yan. Malaki yan. Tapos, lalabas din dito yung sa bank accounts issue, yung nilalabas ko. And this was even before na naging presidente sila. Kumikita sila from drug lords. May proceeds na sila nakukuha. Meron regular dividend sila. Mabigat yun. Drug lord yun Di ba? Okay. Then, magugulat ka. Baka pag nakita natin itong mga bank accounts, baka makakakita ka ng mga bilyones din na withdrawals.
Sen, you've mentioned the ICC a few times. Can I ask you, as in your capacity as a former lawmaker, anong possibility na mag-pass ng law in dalawang chambers that will strengthen the ICI, give it subpoena powers, parang ganyan? Sa tingin mo ba may ganong klaseng movement sa House or sa Senate? I mean, I know may mga na-file na bills na, pero...
Ang nakita ko kasi, yung ICI is not the right body Kasi parang ito, Independent Commission on Infrastructure lang. Yung limited. Pero the way, when I was still, in the Senate, pinag-aralan ko yung mga anti-corruption programs and policies ng Singapore, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Germany, Canada. meron silang anti-corruption agency.
Yeah.
Tayo lang wala. Wala tayong anti-corruption agency. Nangyari ito parang mga ad hoc. Ganito. Parang ningas kugon kasi yon. Pero sa kanila, anti-corruption agency, that's the stick. Meron silang carrot, tinaasan nila lahat. All of these countries na sinabi ko na nasa forefront ng, or the least corrupt governments in the world, tinaasan nila yung mga sweldo. Tinaasan nila yung mga sweldo at a level na dapat komportable ka na based on your skill and responsibility na hindi ka na matetempt to dip your fingers dito. Yon, then ito, very harsh itong anti-corruption agency nila. In Singapore, they can detain you for 14 days. Open, wala kang yung bank secrecy law, hindi, accepted kay lahat doon. Kakalkali nila. And they can enter your house, i-inventory nila yung bahay mo. Lahat, what you use, wala yung yung tipong naka-layer na pangalan sa iba, gano'n. Hindi, makikita nila yon. That's how they do it doon sa mga bansa. Dito, hindi gano'n, hindi mangyayari yan. Kahit na enforce mo yan, magkaroon ng teeth yan na gano'n. Eventually, they will find a way to corrupt the very people investigating it in the same way that they did to the office of the ombudsman. When it was designed, nung panahon nila Cory, parang talagang ito na yung guardians against corruption. Pati yung COA. But eventually, they will find a way. Pagka hindi mo nabigay yung carrot, which is yung salaries nila elevated to a certain level na hindi na sila matetempt, then itong isa na hawak dapat ng executive. Ang nangyayari, parang gano'n lang. Ad hoc lang, depende sa
In lieu of an anti-corruption agency, sa tingin mo, sapat ba yung ginagawa ng Senate Blue Ribbon, ICI, and now new ombudsman, na magkakaroon tayo ng accountability dito?
Hindi sapat in the sense na mapipurge na natin yung bureaucracy of corruption, pero enough na makakakuha tayo ng mga big fish na mapapanagot. So, yun ang kaya given the political environment and the type of bureaucracy that we have. Parang yung sa Napoles, scam, so eventually may makukulong. I think ganun din mangyari dito.
A lot of the assumptions people had about what's happening in the Philippines is masyadong yung mga malalakas talagang they have their way with the courts and so on. And probably that's one of the main reasons why you were instrumental in bringing the case against Duterte sa ICC, no? Kasi parang walang mangyari dito eh. So Sen, I think just the other day naglabas yung affirmation yung trial court na they have jurisdiction over Duterte even though he withdrew from the Treaty of Rome, no? Ano bang status ngayon ng ICC case? Can you talk about possible milestones that maybe we can all look forward to?
So, let's talk about the Duterte case muna. In Duterte case, nagsustall sila na they were successful in postponing the confirmation of charges hearing. Pero with the rejection of the interim release, tapos itong jurisdiction affirmation, yung pagde-delay nila will just work against themselves kasi nakakulong ka pa rin. Diba? And it shows na wala kayong counter evidence, di ba? To prove your innocence. Kasi dapat sila yung interesadong let's get this on, di ba? Let's get this thing going. Pero kung anong alibi. Now, itong sinasabi nilang cognitive impairment, akala nila pagka nag-decide itong mga medical experts na to na meron siyang cognitive impairment, pakakawalan siya. Hindi. He will remain in detention kasi periodic yung evaluation niya. Periodic yung evaluation. Pagka ready na siya, malay mo 6 months from now, okay na siya, di tuloy yung trial. Baka nga, idipat pa yan sa mental asylum kung ipupush nila yan. But then, hindi talaga to totoo. Makikita nila.
The first wife, no, and also the granddaughter said he's okay.
He's fine, yeah. And in fact, they're pleading for the children to stop the lies, di ba? Ganun yan. Kaya hindi nila mabobola kasi yung ICC, di ba? Closely monitored yung kikita nila. Hindi naman ulianin si Duterte. So they're confident na magtutuloy-tuloy ito. So anyway, yan yon. Yung kay Bato and Bongko, yung warrant of arrest ang pinaprocess ngayon, di ba? Bato will be issued a warrant ahead of Bongko. Yeah.
You're confident of that? I mean,
Very confident.
will that happen within the year or?
Let's just say it's a waiting game. It's a waiting game. Yeah. It may happen sooner than later.
And do you think that Malacanang will act the same way as before? Yung parang, okay, it's Interpol, ganun din?
They don't have any choice. Diba? Why suddenly change your policy as regards Interpol warrants? So it's still going to be the same. Will it be less politically tense? I believe so. Kasi iba yung kay Duterte, di ba? He commands a base na fanatics. Ito, not so much. It's the same fanatics na pero hindi anong direct. Yon.
Si General Torre is still, has not yet retired. He's still the 4-star general. Will he be tasked to serve this warrant in case? Or the President will have to look for another person?
Let's just say that we might be surprised na mare-resurrect si General Torre.
Okay.
Soon, di ba? So, it's going to be a moral booster for the Marcos administration. Kasi, yan siya yung isang face nag-torment ng kalaban.
I think he, like you, he knows how to deal with the Dutertes.
Yeah, and
hindi siya naglalabas ng minsan nilabas mo yung litrato mo nandun ka sa Hague.
Yeah.
Akala nila talagang binisita mo si Duterte.
Sabi nila doon rage bait. But it's a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. Yung kanila kasi, yung context no ng picture na yon was naglabas sila, including Kitty Duterte na nag-grant na raw yung interim release. So parang, they were spreading disinformation. So ginanong ko lang na, nope, hindi, doon pa rin siya. Yeah, at in fact, sabi ko nga, when I was there, binisita ko yung facility, tapos itong basta hindi ko siya binisita. Hindi ko siya binisita. And then yung mga Duterte supporters, nando doon. They were not hostile to me. May nagkipagkamay, kantuhan, may nagpa-picture, gano'n naman. Yung viciousness nasa lang
Sa online.
Online.
Or over Humba.
Yeah.
Then, last two questions. No? So, you were talking about winning the hearts and minds. No? So, first of all, what do you say now to those who are anti-corruption? Nakita mo pati sa UAAP, halimbawa, no? UP at Lasal, cheering, yung cheer squads together. No? Ikulong na yan, mga korakot. Kasi talagang galit yung mga tao. No? But much more needs to be done. Even the President himself is asking for information, di ba? And then kami rin sa Rappler, humingi kami ng mga tips, and then we've made, we've followed up on the tips. We've had some, I think, some very interesting, very deep stories. Anong panawagan mo sa mga tao na, okay, maybe we can finally do something about corruption?
Unang-una, very inspiring siya, no? Very encouraging yung nangyayari na movement. Pero knowing itong social media age, yung attention span medyo maikli. Huwag niyong bitawan. So, yun ang message ko sa kanila. Huwag niyong bitawan to issue na to para makita natin hanggang sa logical conclusion. Kasi nangyari, look at the Napoles scam. Let's say, sabihin na lang natin si Jinggoy. Nung grabe yung galit ng tao that led to the prosecution and pagkakulong ni Jinggoy, for example. Then, fast forward mo 2022, binoto nyo ulit. Tapos nagagalit kayo ulit. Bakit ando doon? Part of that responsibility is on us. Dahil nakakalimot na didistract nung circus of election campaigns na you forgot about these people. Kaya nga this time, wag na natin bitawan. Those who have namantsahan na ng corruption, wag nyo nang boboto ulit. Kasi, di ba, you're asking for it na. It's not going to be anybody's fault but yours.
And last, Sen, ano naman masasabi mo sa mga DDS supporters?
Yung sa DDS supporters, kinakategorize ko siya eh. Meron yung mga hardcore, yung doon sa extreme, tapos meron yung mga moderates eh. Ako, I'm targeting yung moderates. Eventually, pag lumabas ito, lahat-lahat, yung mga in denial, slowly mamumulat eh. Pero yung hardcore, wala ka na magagawa doon. Especially those who are being paid, let's say, to parang troll sila. Wala ka na magagawa. You cannot penetrate. So, ito yung audience. Dapat yung moderates. Tapos yung mga apolitical. Then, kailangan yung base mo masosolidify. So, ano na eh. Kumaga na-chip away na siya all these years. Kasi from where we started in 2016, we were dealing with a whole nation of fanatics. Pero ngayon, hindi na. Meron na lang. Andun pa rin, marami pa rin sila, but every day we're chipping away from that number.
It's almost been 10 years, ano?
Yeah, 10 years.
Ang tagal din natin nagdusa. But again, bracing conversation. Senator Sonny Trillanes, thank you very much.
Maraming salamat dyan.
Di ba mga kababayan? Yan ang sinasabi natin, di ba? Eto, alam naman natin mga kababayan na si Senator Trillanes talaga, dati pa niyang final ito. Dati na niyang hinahabol. Pero, yun nga, binasura dahil nga kay Martires, mga kababayan, di ba? Alam naman natin na si Digong ang nag-ano dyan di ba? Talaga dyan. Nag-appoint dyan. So, automatic, lahat ng ikakaso kay Digong, ibabasura. I-dismiss. Di ba? Kaya ngayon, mga kababayan, malilintikan na talaga si Bongo. Kasi ako para sa akin, personal of interest talaga to. Magkakaroon talaga ng conflict of interest ito. Diba? Dahil bakit? Alam mo na, senador ka, imposible namang hindi mo alam na may kontrata ang magulang mo. Diba? Alam mong kontrata. Saka hindi pa pwede mga kababayan na idadahilan natin na, hindi, wala akong pakialam sa pamilya ko, wala akong pakialam sa, hindi pa pwede yun. In the first place, alam mo yun, labag sa constitution yun. Okay, lahat ng senador, lahat ng nakaupo diyan, alam nila 'yun, 'di ba? Pero ginagawan lang nila ng paraan, kagaya ng ginagawa nyo, 'di ba? Nabisto sa Diskaya na kasabwat may sila sa 'di ba? Sa kontraktor ng tatay ni Bongo. Nakalatag ang ebidensya. Ito ang lagi natin sinasabi mga kababayan, especially sa mga DDS na sarado ang utak at lagi nasusupalpal ng katotohanan ng mga ebidensya. Pag may ebidensya ka kasi, di ba, malaki ang laban mo. Pag may ebidensya ka, may tendency na manalo ka sa lahat ng bagay. Ganyan si Sentry Kaya nga niya napakulong si Digong nyo, di ba? Dahil may ebidensya. So, ayun mga kababayan, antabayanan natin yung paparating na na another kaso dito kay Bongo at sa pamilya niya. At yung pagpunta nila, pagbisita nila sa ICC, mga kababayan, di ba? Abangan natin yan. So once again, magbabalik muli ang inyong lingkod for another video. Ako po ulit, si Birador Pico at your service. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ang bansang Pilipinas. Mabuhay ang ating mahal na Pangulong si PBBM. Thank you so much.